Welcome back to After the Snap, and I'm your host, Tasha Pierce. This right here is more than a movie. This is where we talk about a docuseries, a biopic, anything that is said that is based upon a true story. We cover that on this here, and we give it, kind of a deep discussion. Now, today's episode is covering Black and Missing. That is a four-part documentary series by multiple Emmy Award winner Geeta Gandbhir, an award-winning documentarian, journalist, author, and activist Soledad O'Brien. It's going to follow the sisters-in-law team of the Black and Missing Foundation, Derrica and Natalie Wilson, as they fight an uphill battle to bring awareness to the Black missing persons cases that are marginalized by law enforcement and national media. Now, this one is going to be just a smidge different, just a smidge. And the reason why is uh, looking a little smidge different today is because we we know that this is a fact. We know uh, that when Black people go missing, nobody seems to look for them as much as other Black people. So we know this is happening. It's a horrible phenomenon. But just in case you're here, you want to make a difference, we're going to talk about the Black and Missing Foundation. I'm going to give you some stats, some figures, some facts that may or may not surprise you. And if you are Black, white, Latina, if you just want to help with the work, I'm going to provide you with ways that you can help these sisters do a job uh, that really nobody wants to do. And that's me being keeping it 100. Nobody wants to do the job. Hey, Lysandra, what's going on in the chat there? Thank you for your kind words. Thank you. So yeah, without further ado, I'm not gonna hold this thing up with small talk or conversation. You can feel free to jump in the chat. I'm going to stop periodically and check to see if there's anything in the chat that we need to go ahead and discuss. But if not, I am going to power through this hour of more than a movie. So let's go. Okay, let's see. I promised the other day that I was going to talk about a young lady by the name of Kendall Ray, who does. Oh, really? Really? I am being completely spammed. Completely spammed with people talking about naked streamers. Gosh, are you serious? Anywho, um, yeah, I follow Kendall Ray because she does an outstanding job, in my opinion, of covering cases of all different races, of colors, sexes. Doesn't matter to her. She wants to do her part in helping people find their loved ones. But this is a Twitter feed that I ran across quite accidentally. I wasn't looking for this. Uh, where she had recently did a video on the young man Jelani Day that was out of Illinois, who was found deceased after he had been missing for some time, and very, very little attention was being given to this case. Well, she did a video on it. So you're gonna excuse my language because I'm gonna say exactly what she put in her tweet. But please also know that I don't tiptoe around using bad language either. I will curse. So Kendall Ray said, I get this notification every single time I post a video covering a Black victim's case. I'm not kidding. Every single fucking time. It's infuriating. Black victims deserve your view too. Jelani Day deserves your view. And what the notification she got from YouTube was people who regularly watch your channel are showing less interest in watching this video. So that's one video, right? Maybe it's an anomaly. Maybe this is not something that happens all the time. But when you look at a next tweet where somebody put up a screenshot of her YouTube views, she said, "Look at the view comparison. This can't be real." This video was done a year ago. It says, "Where is Tierra Williams? Disappeared from her grandma's apartment." This was a case that was covering a young Black girl. Kendall Ray covered it on her channel. If you look at the views of the videos that are surrounding that particular video, they have 2.2 million views, 2.1 million views, 2.1 million views, a million views, or 1.8 million views. And then when you get down to Tierra's case, it is 900,000 views. Now, while you might say, that's an awful lot of people, that's an awful lot of views, it's half of what she normally gets. It's actually less than half of what she normally would get on a video. You see, all of the videos around it are at 2.1 million views. This case from Tierra Williams, 980,000 views. So it kind of is lending some credence to the fact that people are not interested in cases, or as interested in cases, when they cover Black people. Then Kendall went on and said, "It even happens on our podcast episodes. Truly makes me sick." But let's see. There was one person who made a comment, and I can't find it now. Yeah, but I can't find it now. I thought I had the comment where it said, "Oh, we only watch cases that we can relate to." And the answer to the question to me was, are you not able to relate to a case that a mother is missing her child? Who cares what color they are? But okay, so this was just an example. Hey, Davina, how's it going? Yeah, but this was just an example. I'm going to push through to the next slide here. So Derrica and Natalie Wilson founded Black and Missing. And the reason why they founded it, the quote that they gave is, "It's important for us to exist because we are the only nonprofit organization that is a voice for an often ignored group. They're ignored by law enforcement. They're ignored by the media. And they're ignored by the community." And that is really the truth. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. Fortunately for us, we have people out there who are willing to give their time and their effort, their own time, their own effort, their own money to make the kind of difference, I guess, in the way people look at Black victims, Indigenous victims, minority victims, minorities. Oops. Now the founders are again Derrica and Natalie Wilson. They work to ensure Black people and other people of color reported missing don't slip through the cracks. In 2008, the two founded the Black and Missing Foundation to help raise awareness around these cases and help families navigate police and the media to spaces that are often hostile for people of color. Now, how it started. They said for them, it was a calling that was inspired by the disappearance of a young woman from one of our hometowns of Spartanburg, South Carolina. That young woman was Tamika Houston. And I am going to tell you a little bit more about Tamika. Oops, wait a minute. Yep, as soon as I pull up the bio I had for her. Let's see. Tamika Houston. I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. Tamika Houston was 24 years old in 2004. She was last seen by her family and friends on or around May 27th, 2004. Days went by with no communication from her, which was out of character for Tamika. Now, her family contacted the authorities on June 14th, 2004, and an investigation was launched into her disappearance. Unfortunately, Tamika's case was receiving little to no media attention. Now, especially when compared to missing persons Natalie Holloway and Lacey Peterson's, whose cases received extensive national coverage for literal weeks. So even as her family pleaded for help with getting the word out, the mainstream media paid little attention. Tamika's vehicle was recovered on June 20th, 6 days after she was reported missing, at an apartment complex where it had been since the last day she was seen. So how did the police miss this if they were actively working her case? But we move further. Soon a year had passed, but now the family had allies in Derrica Wilson and Natalie Wilson. They raised awareness for this case with help from the family and the community, and suddenly Tamika was getting attention. Inside the car that they found a year earlier, inside that car, there was a set of keys that matched to an apartment. And after an entire year, officers learned which apartment the key originally belonged to and found blood evidence that matched Tamika's DNA. So at this point, we know that we can fear the worst for Tamika. She didn't go missing because she wanted to go missing. She was disappeared by somebody. In August 2005, Spartanburg public safety officers arrested Houston's ex-boyfriend, Christopher Hampton, for her murder. Now, Hampton resided in the apartment unit that they found all this blood in. He resided in that apartment at the time of Houston's disappearance. Does anybody out there know a little bit about crime scene investigation? And that just means, have you watched any crime scene TV shows? Listen to any podcast. Who is the first people that the police generally interview when a woman comes up missing? When somebody comes up missing, who do the police generally go to first? They generally go to the family and the partner. So it's usually somebody that's close to you. And had they even investigated Christopher Hampton a year ago, yes, Davina, yes. Yes, Lysandra, yes. Spouse or boyfriend, husband or boyfriend. Those are the first people. How did this man get away with killing this girl for a whole year? You said you were investigating, right? Police said they were investigating. If you were truly investigating, you would have already spoken to Christopher Hampton. But no. So by the time they got around to Christopher Hampton being a suspect, he was incarcerated. So they arrested him. He got out, and as soon as he got out, they arrested him for Tamika's murder. He took the police to the spot where he admitted that he buried Tamika. He said that they had argued. He got a little mad at her while he was ironing his work clothes. They were arguing about money. She wanted some money. He didn't want to give her no money. He was ironing his clothes, and while she was talking, he turned around and hit her He hit her with the iron, knocking her out and killing her. Then he borrowed a car. So he went to work, came back, borrowed a car, drove around looking for a spot. All of this while the police are supposed to be looking for Tamika. Anywho, Christopher Hampton received a life sentence 8 months after he confessed to Tamika's murder, and that was in April of 2006. So that was the case that lit a fire under these ladies, under Derrica and her sister-in-law, Natalie. That is what made them say, we need to do something. And here are the ladies themselves, and I am very impressed with the things that they've were able to accomplish and that they have been able to accomplish. But let's find out how they have been able to get some of this stuff done. Derrica Wilson is the CEO of Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated. Yeah, D. I'm not going to go into every one of these cases in great detail, but yeah, you are correct. I'm gonna leave that up there just in case somebody wants a deeper explanation. But yeah, Derrica Wilson is the CEO of the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated. She got her start in law enforcement with the Arlington County Sheriff's Department in Virginia, where she served as a deputy sheriff, a recruiter, and a test administrator. She later became the first African-American female officer with the City of Falls Church Police Department as a patrol officer and teaching public safety programs at schools. She also worked there as a recruiter, test administrator, and background administrator. It was during this time when she found her calling in helping those in need. So she co-founded, I'm going to have to take that down because you're going to cover me. She co-founded the national nonprofit Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated, an organization that helps raise awareness for missing persons of color. She's received numerous awards for her work, including BET's Network's Black Girls Rock Community Change Agent Award in 2017. So that is the CEO of Black and Missing. We're going to move on to the COO, who is also her sister-in-law, and that is Natalie Wilson. Natalie is the co-founder and chief operating officer of Black and Missing. She's got more than 15 years of experience in public relations. It came in very handy when you are trying to get the media involved in these cases. So she's involved in all aspects of BAMFI's operations, including the development and execution of strategic outreach and press to ensure coverage of the foundation's mission and initiatives. So Natalie knows the power and reach of media coverage. It's what she does, right? She's got a library of contacts that she is able to, reach out to get the word out when and if somebody comes up missing. Because, if and when, we know that we're going to get to some of these statistics. We know people come up missing. You're going to want Natalie Wilson on your team. She has garnered local, national, and international media placements with platforms. She got the Associated Press is on her team, CNN, Essence Magazine, Fox 5 DC, so the local Fox channel, the Huffington Post, NPR, Oxygen.com, People, The View, Oprah Daily, and the Washington Post, which continue to keep the issue of missing and exploited persons of color at the forefront. So kudos to these two women. They are doing the Lord's work for sure. They are doing the Lord's work for sure. Moving on, we're going to start getting into some statistics. The 2020 population of the United States is 329.5 million people. A lot of folks. It's a whole lot of folks. When we look at this graph, You'll see like the legend is right up at top. The I guess the more beige looking color, that is the white population in the United States. The white population is roughly 62% of the United States population. The black population is roughly 13.1%. Asian Asian is roughly 6%, and Hispanic is 19.2%. So you see that we are the second to the last demographic as far as the population of the United States of America, as far as Black people are concerned. Usually, when they are reporting these statistics for who comes up missing, white, Hispanic, other minorities, Black, white and Hispanic are put together. A lot of times they put white and Hispanic as they lump them in the same category for some reason. Okay, let's go to the next. So, 2020 missing persons reported. Out of 543,018 people that were reported missing in 2020, 59% were white or Hispanic, 37% were minority. In 2020, of the 41 million people that live in the United States that are Black, almost 201,000 were reported missing. 201,000 out of 41 million people. Of the white population, nearly 200 million people are in this white population. That is the white and Hispanic population. 200 million had 320,000 people go missing. So just by listening to the numbers, it sounds like, oh, more white people came up missing. And this is true. It was more white people who came up missing. But as far as the percentage of the people that are in the population, we have a dramatic difference between white folks and Black folks. We come up missing far more often than white people do. So, thousands of people are reported missing every year in the US, and while not every case will get widespread media attention, the coverage of white and minority victims is far from proportionate. Far from proportionate. So when we come up missing, there's always some quote unquote reason. Like they'll say that many minority children are initially classified as runaways. And as a result, we're not going to do an Amber Alert. Your child just ran away. Why is that? Why are you saying that this child ran away? The next excuse is missing minority adults. Oh, they're involved in crime, gangs, drugs. That's why they came up missing. They wanted to be missing. That's not true all the time. I'm not going to say it's never true. And then there's the situation where that it is believed that missing minorities live in impoverished conditions and that crime is a regular part of our lives. Pretty much they say we should be used to having unfortunate things happen to us. Well, you should be used to it. That happens in your community all the time. That I can't make the shit up. Law enforcement officers and the media may believe that we expect to be touched by some sort of violent crime because of our circumstances. And we know that most parents will do anything to keep our families safe, but it's hard to make others realize that we are more than our circumstances. That is a big problem with our community and as far as what the law enforcement officers expect from our community. They think we are desensitized to being victims. This was one, I'm going to take back real quick. This is one that really blew my mind. This statistic. And I'm gonna ask you guys first. Of if you see a picture, let's see. I'm gonna try to share my other screen over here. I'm not trying to give you a big hint. uh of these two people in this picture here, who is more likely to come up missing? So we've got this, just these two people, this young black girl, this young black man. Who's more likely to come up missing? Lysandra says the lady. And Davina also says the lady. And when we look at true statistics, it is statistically even. Black men come up missing just as often as black women. Now, I know that it sounds entirely hard to believe that the men come up missing as often as the women. I was shocked to learn that it's a 50-50 thing as well. But if a black male goes missing, guess what? The chances his case will be taken seriously are even slimmer than black females. Jelani Day is a recent case that comes to mind right off the top of my mind. They'll look for one of us before they'll look for a black male, but they come up missing in equal numbers, statistically equal numbers. And that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, you say it's not that shocking to you, but you didn't guess that black men would come up missing as much as black women. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, really, we could say it's not shocking, but when you really think about it, do you expect that a black man comes up missing? You rarely hear about black women coming up missing. You definitely don't hear about black men coming up missing. They don't shine a spotlight on black male cases. They don't. Now, when we talk about children, of 200,916 missing minority people, the total number under the age of 18, this is including African American, Asian, and Indian. The total number of children is 145,467. Far better than half. Far better than half of these kids come up missing. Do we think the coverage is better when we look at missing persons under the age of 18? Might be a little bit better, but if it's 145,467 unaccounted for minority children in the United States, how are we not hearing about them more often? Can you say if it's literally 145,000 missing children in the United States, can you say that you hear about a black missing child once a month on the mainstream media? Once every 2 months? Do you hear about a black missing child once every 3 months? When do we typically hear about a black missing child? Typically. I'm going to be 100 with you. It's typically after they found their body. Not when they come up missing, but when they come up dead. So all of these people missing, all of these, the numbers don't lie. Missing minority children are still grossly underreported in the news, and that is why diversity matters in the newsroom, because the statistics for our newsrooms in the United States of America is, uh, according to a 2018 diversity survey conducted by the American Society of News Editors, newsrooms tend to be white and male. Now, if we had a diverse staff, that would mean a wide range of stories could be told and probably would be told. If you watch the Black and Missing documentary, you saw that they're in the Baltimore area or DC area. The people who took the helm and making sure that these cases got local attention were usually Black women. And I'm not just talking about Derrica and Natalie. I'm talking about the Black anchors that they have at these channels. They shined a light on these cases. This is not something that we have across the nation. We don't have as many Black journalists. And if we do, they don't have or hold the sway that they need to have and hold to be instrumental in getting these cases discussed or covered. And it's sad. Uh-oh. I went back a little too far. So yeah, this is your chance now. If you've been wanting to say all lives matter for a long time, this is your chance to say all lives matter. This is your chance to balance the scales, show less of one group and more of everybody. Everybody deserves the attention to be put on their case. It also is an opportunity, if all lives matter, because we know how we like to hear people, yay, rah, 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 all lives matter. When it's time to see value in Black and brown lives. The people who are missing have families. We are not animals. Even animals will miss their children. We are not animals. We also miss our children. We also hurt. We also feel the pain when somebody comes up missing. We feel that. So when you make a comment, and I'm not saying you in general, I'm saying you as in the people who do this, who feel this way. And of course, if you feel this way, you're probably not watching me because I'm Black as ever. But if you feel like, oh, we watch cases that we can relate to, why would you not be able to relate to me? I'm a mother. If something were to happen to my son, I would be devastated. My son were to come up missing, there would be no stone left unturned while I look for him. I also have learned that there are some tools that we have to help find our missing loved ones, to include this Black and Missing Foundation, to include women like Derrica and Natalie, and the group that they've put together of people who have been also touched by these situations. So I know some tools, but why would you not be able to relate to me and my pain? What would be different? It will still be a person that's missing from the table. You know what I'm saying? It would still be one less stocking hanging up at Christmas time. You get what I'm saying? So why? And it was there one lady in the Black and Missing show. She didn't take her Christmas tree down until her daughter came home. Now, I think her daughter had made a choice to be away. She was one of those cases that she didn't want to go home. Okay, that was her choice. We are not going to stop looking for these kids because they don't want to be found. And when they get to be a certain age, when you could say, I want to be, I'm just happier away from my family, that's on you. But when a kid is 12 to 17, 18 years old, we have a responsibility as a community to look for that child, not to say that the child is, oh, the child is a runaway, the child wants to be missing, these kinds of things. That is not for us to say. They are minors. And until we have a reason to say that they don't belong with their parents, guess what? They belong with their parents. Shoot. And when a mother is telling you this is completely out of character for my child to come up missing, or to not call me for a week, or to not even call me for a day, if you got a mother telling you that, don't nobody know their child like a mother. You need to listen to that. But moving on to the next point. Of course, this is an American issue. It affects us all. This is not black and white. It's American. Be vigilant. Keep your eyes open. What are y'all, when we walking around during our day-to-day, and this is me, myself is included. If we're walking around in our day-to-day, if you've got 2 people memorized in your mind that are missing, 2 people, you don't know what a difference you might make. We need to hold everybody accountable. We need to hold law enforcement accountable. We need to hold the media accountable. And guess what? We need to hold ourselves accountable, because black people come up missing. We need to do what we have to do to help find them. But it can't just be sitting at home talking about what the police ain't doing. What are you doing? And it doesn't always have to be about, oh, I have to work. I can't do this and that. All you have to do is memorize 2 faces, 2 descriptions. When an Amber Alert comes across your phone, instead of getting aggravated because it woke you up, memorize the license plate. You can make a difference just like that. There was a case in Black and Missing, the docuseries that we watched, where an Uber driver remembered having this girl in his car. He saw the picture, the photo on the news, local news, and he remembered, she was in my car. Yeah, and I can remember where I dropped her off. Just like that. Just like that. You have helped. Instead of, we're really good at this. Also, black people, I'm talking to us, judging other people and their situations and why this child might be missing and what they might have done. We need to find the child. Fuck all the rest of that shit. We could talk about all of that on the other side. I think about the case here in Houston where those kids was locked up in that apartment for all those months, for damn near a year, with their body, with the body of their deceased brother. If one person would have said, you know what, I ain't seen those kids in a while, at school or anything, at church, playing outside, anything. If one person would have said, where them kids at? Or, I see them kids there an awful lot by themselves. Where the parents at? If one person would have did that, do you understand how much trauma those kids would have not had to endure if somebody would have said, we noticed something fishy about this house. These kids, just one, I'm seeing this one kid and he don't seem to have any parents. But we all walking with her. We can keep our head down, go on about our business. How many of us believe that it would have been different if that would have happened where we live? Because I can be 100% honest. Most of the time, I'm not even paying attention. I'm going to start paying attention. But most of the time, I'm not paying attention. I don't think about who I don't see. And sometimes that's the way we need to approach things as a community. We need to think about, who haven't we seen in a while and why? And it doesn't always mean, oh, I'm going to call law enforcement. You don't have to do that, Karen. You don't have to do that. But we do need to investigate in some way, shape, or form. Find out where these kids belong, who they belong to, or find out why we haven't seen a kid. because sometimes, most of the time, somebody does something to a child, a woman, a man. It's somebody they know most of the time. Most of the time, which is what bugs me about black on black crime. Because most of the time, it's somebody you know. So when you hear the words black on black crime, that makes you afraid of all black people. When in actuality, the likelihood is that if something were to happen to you, it would be done to you by somebody that you know. And that is not just for the black community, that's for every community. We are more in danger from people that we know. So who else can I piss off as bad? I'm 100% sure that I piss off people I know far more than I piss off people who don't know me. Shit. Shucks. So yeah, okay, I went on a tangent. I was preaching. We're gonna go to this next. Tell you what we can do besides that. What we can do to help. Now we can always donate. And if you look in the description of this live stream, wherever you're watching, except for on Twitch, but if you're watching on Twitch, I am inviting you to come on over to Facebook. Join the group, the Facebook, the After the Snap Hangout. Join that group. That is where you will find links to all kinds of resources that will aid you in aiding the Black and Missing Foundation. That's first and foremost. I would like to see people donate their money and time to that, but also other links are ways for you to be more prepared in the unfortunate event that something were to happen to you or your loved ones. There is a ton of resources out there, and I have compiled that list and put it in the description of these videos. So, and if you're watching on the rebroadcast, just check your description box, check the description of this live stream, and you will find those resources as well. Again, the link to make a tax-deductible donation is in the show notes. Participate in fundraisers as well and events that raise awareness. One of the things that I notice is that they do a 5K. If you can walk, and it ain't just a run, it's a walk too. If you can walk or run a 5K, that is another way to assist in raising money for this foundation, so these ladies can continue the work, because they're working full-time jobs. Black and Missing, their foundation, is a full-time job, and it's heavy. This is not a light load. Everybody can't do it. I'm not built for it. Like I said, I did the true crime podcast and nearly went insane with the heaviness of people's pain being on you, and digging deep into people's pain constantly. I'm empathetic. I'm carrying that around with me. I can't do that kind of work, but there are things that I can do, and I have a responsibility to the community to do whatever I can, even if it's just sitting here talking about other people and the things that they do. That's my responsibility. That's what I'm giving back to the world. I'm also committing to the fact that I am going to remember the faces and the names of some of these victims, so that if we accidentally stumble across them, that we are able to give them some help. Get active in your community, volunteer. Get active. That just, volunteering doesn't mean I need to go down to the community center and commit an amount of time, even though that's great. Volunteering means that when you're walking, a lot of us walk for our own health and fitness. While you're walking, pay attention, be vigilant, pay attention, so that you don't come up missing, but B, stay alert and informed about the missing people in your area. You don't never know who you might run across. And then research. Yep. So for every hour that you spend on YouTube, every hour that you spend watching TV, for every hour that you spend on social media, every hour, look up one person in your area. Don't wait for the media, because the media may never cover these cases. You might never hear about uh, the missing person who was right down the street from your house, or that you've seen in a car or at the grocery store. You may never hear about them through the media. We hope things get better. Keep hope alive. But that doesn't mean that we wait on hope. We don't wait on hope. Hope, just like what was Regina King said in what was the name of that movie? Lord have mercy. The Harder We Fall. Hope is dead. Hope is dead. It's not dead though. Keep hope alive. Don't wait for the media and don't wait for hope. Look on the websites, just like blackandmissinginc.com. Research your area, where you live. Put your zip code in, and you never know if you might be the difference between life and death for a person. Somebody might be in a position to save a life. And yeah, those are the ways that we can help. Those are the things that we can do. Now, it's discussion time. Did anybody, I guess right now, did anybody learn anything new about missing people? Did anybody learn anything that you that you found to be an interesting number, an interesting case, an interesting? Let me know. The Black and Missing docuseries on HBO Max was extremely well done. It talked about the ladies, not only Black and Missing, the foundation, but their personal lives, how this has touched their personal lives. Uh, because Black and Missing is not always about somebody snatched your kid. It's sometimes about my son is in prison for a crime he didn't commit. He's missing. One of those ladies faced that kind of situation. There was one case where, and oh my gosh, I have been interested in that case for a long time, where a lady was dating this one guy. She had cameras all around her home, so she was doing everything she could do to be safe. And she went in the house one day and never came out. When they went to look for her, thinking that she might be deceased in the house, she wasn't in the house. How in the world did that man get that body out the house without being seen by any of these cameras? I'm going to leave that to you to see Black and Missing. I could sit here and blow by blow it, but to be quite honest, we need all eyes on that docuseries. We need all eyes on this foundation. And we need to make sure that if you got friends of other demographics, of Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, if you got friends like that, then we probably need to make sure that we are putting them up on this. We're putting them up on this too. Can't just be us looking for us. We need a community effort. And I don't see anybody with any questions or comments. I am going to continue to tell you, big up to the ladies, Derrica and Natalie. They doing some work that everybody ain't made to do. So for more info on the Black and Missing Foundation, go to BAMFI.com. And that's where you're going to find a lot of what I talked about today and so much more. They got a lot of stuff, a lot of resources there. And if you want to, of course, I'm going to always try to hit me up for some donations. I'm going to always tell you how you can donate to the show. You can do that on Cash App at Quinn's Mama. You can go to PayPal, paypal.me/afterthesnap, and you can do super chats, super stickers. I accept all of those things. I got a comment here. Lysandra said, I just wish people who would work together, no matter what your skin color is, to get a person back to their family. This is 100, because you never know when that person is going to be you. No matter what color you are, something can happen to you or your family, and you're going to want everybody's attention on this. You're going to want everybody's attention on your case. I don't know what's really going on. I continuously get these things coming in, these like comments coming in talking about online strippers without clothing. I don't care. Blocked. But anywho, yes, we need to work together as a global community, as a national community, instead of, oh, I don't relate because I'm not black. You know what? Or I don't relate. I relate to you. You're white. I relate to you missing your child. It hurts me. I be keeping my eyes open, looking for these kids. I swear to God, like if it's a child that I know is missing, for instance, that little Summer Wells, of course, I don't know if I would ever run across her, but I think I know her little face. I think I know her face well enough that if I were to see that little girl, I would know it was her. But yeah, so that's where you can donate to the cause. All right. You can send me your topic ideas, your suggestions, and your feedback to sinister.media.network@gmail.com. I am always excited to get emails from you guys telling me what you want to talk about on future shows, or a subject that you think I should research a little bit. Or if I just put my foot in my mouth and fucked up somewhere and you want to let me know about it, it's really nice to, you ain't got to do that all in public. You can send it to my email. um, and yeah, the next time you will see me will be Wednesday. We're going to be doing the midweek meltdown, and y'all know the story of the week is going to be the Spider-Man No Way Home, and how it dismantled the internet overnight. So look to talk about that, and amongst many other things, on Wednesday. So I hope you guys will join me Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Join me at 7 p.m. Central for the weekly wrap up. Last but not least, I do have a Patreon, and you can support me there. There are incentives to supporting me on Patreon. The site for my Patreon is patreon.com/Tasha Pierce. You can choose a tier. I believe my tiers start at $3, and they go all the way up to the astronomical figures that I know I'll never get, but I gotta hope. Gotta keep hope alive, right? And yep, I don't have too much left. Hopefully you'll join me here on Wednesday. But if you're into more than a movie, if this is your thing, I will be doing more than a movie. Next week will be about DMX, the DMX docuseries that's on HBO Max, and it is called oh gosh, what is the name of that doggone series? I just made the thumbnail and everything. Don't try to understand. DMX, don't try to understand. And we will be discussing the very complicated legacy of Earl Simmons next week on More Than a Movie. So hopefully you'll join me there if you don't catch me some point at the end of the week, because that's a lot going on at the end of the week on this channel. So with all that being said, I've got nothing else. Watch Black and Missing. Watch that docuseries on HBO or HBO Max. I appreciate you for hanging out with me today. I thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.